Hi everyone, welcome to a new video about learning how to understand pick a card readings so you get the best out of them. In this video, I'm going to explain how to choose your pile and this process you are going through while choosing your pile. So first, I'm going to speak about the duality of choice, then the objects of choice, then the things that can influence your choice. Then we're going to speak about the state of choice that is the most beneficial, then how to choose your pile, and then we're going to end with the results of your choice and the last ideas. So let's go ahead and start speaking about the duality of choice. What is that? Well, all of us make choices in their own personal ways, of course. We are unique, but I can also see some really obvious categories. So I'm going to speak about that. We have people that usually choose using their intellect. So these people will analyze, compare, measure, compare the value of things, gather information, speak to other people, get a lot of data, and then make their choice. Now there are people who will not do that, who will use their heart or their senses to make a choice. For example, we may use our gut instinct, our sensations in our body to guide us towards a good decision. Our intuition, we may use what we call our heart senses to guide us towards that decision. Then we have people who struggle between their intellect and their senses, who do not know which one to pick or how to make them work together. Now, these people will struggle. They will use their intellect and analyze. They will listen to their hearts, but they will have a doubt in how to connect them. Then we have people who have created that connection between the intellect and their hearts, and they know which choice to make in a harmonious way for them. Now, people who analyze or use their intellect more will have more issues in making a choice, in choosing their piles, because they may fall in analysis, in the desire to gather data, to measure, to compare. Maybe they will use the shapes of the objects. Maybe they will use colors or other things. And for this, they may have a harder moment in making a choice and choosing their pile or piles. For them, it may be also difficult to understand that more piles may be appropriate for them, because they may like just one, because for them one is much easier, because for them one needs to be the best. Like in analysis, you make an analysis and you choose the best option. For people who choose using their senses, this will be much easier, but they may fall in other things like attachments, memories, past experiences, subconscious ideas, and programming. Now, people who struggle in choosing between their intellect and their hearts will struggle also in choosing their pile. They will have doubts. They may use their intellect to choose one, then they may use the heart to choose another, and then try to figure out which one is the best. For people who have this connection, then choice will be easy. That will become instant. They will know instantly which pile or piles they are attracted to, and they will know if that reading doesn't have a message for them as well, and they will be okay with that. They will not be upset. They will not try to judge either the reading or themselves and so on. They will do this really easy. Now, try to understand how choice is for you. We may as well use many methods, not just stick to one, but we usually have one that we employ the most. Now let's go and let's speak a little bit about the objects of choice. And we have usually crystals. I usually use crystals or tiny candles like this one, for example, or other types of objects like this cone, for example. So I use these objects as to not stimulate your intelligence and also your intellect too much, but to stimulate your senses, because this is how you will get to make the right choice here and to choose the path that is for you. Now I use crystals because we usually, well, many people do not have a lot of associations with crystals. We may know a little bit about them, but crystals are usually good for a lot of things, so you cannot pinpoint that this is going to mean that or the other. And also other types of objects like this one, for example, also to stimulate your imagination, not necessarily your intelligence. Again, natural objects like stones, garden stones, and cones or flowers or whatever I can think about in that moment. And this is to stimulate something inside of you, not your intellect, not the things that you know, not your memory, not other things inside of you, but your unconscious and your subconscious. So you learn how to recognize choices from there as well. You may use your intellect, but in this case, your intellect is not going to help you very much. You might just go comparing colors, for example, or sizes, or shapes, or whatever, but that is not going to gather a lot of data so you can decide. You will need to employ your senses as well. So this exercise is an amazing exercise to get out of your head, out of your mind, and into your senses and develop your senses and the connection between intellect and heart. So let's go ahead and speak about things that can influence your choice. So first, I'm going to speak about things that can influence the people that mainly use their intellect. So for example, people that use their intellect will try to find safety somewhere. So they may compare colors. They may, for example, think that if they choose the crystal that is the most beautiful or the clearer, like this one here, for example, that may give them a clearer or a beautiful reading. That's not usually the case. It might be, but that might not be as well. Again, they may try to use shapes, or they may try to measure things in different ways, analyze, like this is bigger, or maybe this is natural, maybe this is handmade, and they will try to find something logical about the objects to connect with their intellect so they may choose. But in that case, you may just block yourself from making a choice that could take you in the direction of the correct pile for you. And you may also dismiss the fact that the reading may not have a message for you. Because if you think that, well, this needs to have a message for me, then you will go ahead and measure up and compare and choose based on something that you think will be good for you. And not all of the things that we think will be good for us will actually be good for us. You may also develop some kind of superstition. Yes, people who use their intellect may also develop superstition, because repetition also has to do with some kind of inner logic. So, if they have chosen a certain crystal in the past, and that crystal gave them the right pile and a good message, then they may gravitate towards the same one because of experience. They might also develop some kind of a lucky crystal search, and they may always choose those crystals. This is also a kind of logic and a kind of idea to keep safety or certainty, to look for certainty in things, of course. Then we have doubts and confusion also in the people using their intellect. Because if they analyze too much, they can analyze the choice to death. So they get to a place where they are extremely confused and they don't know what to do again. Well, the tiny crystal here, because it's red, maybe this one here because it's orange, I don't know. Maybe this one here, and they just look around and they confuse themselves. Now, if you get in that state, just don't choose in that state. Just let go of the video for a few moments, come back to it later when you have a clearer mind and when that confusion is gone. Because that confusion, if you choose, it's going to keep getting you into more confusion, and your state of confusion will influence the way you perceive the reading as well. The reading will confuse you even more. So in that state, my recommendation is to just let it go for a while. Just come back later when you have a clearer mind. Okay, then let's go to the people who usually use their senses. Now you will find things in both of these, because we use our intellect and our senses in different ways as well, and we may connect them in different ways. So for example, attachments. People that use their senses may have attachments. Now these are not really superstitions, but they look like one. For example, someone may have an attachment to a color, like, I don't know, blues or purples, like this amethyst ball here. If they have that attachment, when they see this blue ball or purple ball here, they will go for it, because somehow that color creates a safety emotion for them. Somehow they have this attachment in their subconscious to consider purple things like being safe or being the right choices for them. They will not have a rational thinking. They will just go for it without knowing that they are actually using an attachment. So you see that it is different from a superstition. Superstitious people will know that they are choosing that crystal or that thing because in the past they brought them good readings. But attachments, you do not know about them. They just drive you from within, and you really do not understand if what you're doing is because an attachment is there or something else. And an attachment may be also a memory, for example. For example, people that live in the countries may have really good memories about earthly things like cones, for example. So they may choose cones because they are familiar with them and they love nature and they have these memories. So those memories will drive them to their choice. But again, that might not be the right choice or the right pile. So if you're confused right now, if you don't know what you think, just let this information sit with you. It's not meant to help you make a choice, but just be aware of what can happen when you make a choice. You are increasing your awareness by listening to this video, and just let that awareness be there without impeding your choice. I'm going to speak about that later a lot more. Then we are going to have desires. For example, if you have the desire to listen to a really positive, encouraging message, you will look with that desire in mind. You will look for a really positive and encouraging message, but not necessarily connected with you and your life, and not necessarily truthful or even useful. You're just looking for encouragement. So you might just find the pile that will give you that, but it might also not be useful for anything else than that. So this desire to find the most beautiful or positive pile may also impede your choice. If you have that desire, that is a normal desire. We need encouragement, we need positive things, we need that state of optimism, but just be aware that that may influence your choice as well, and that sometimes you may just look for that and not for truth and not for something that's actually useful. That is okay. You can go ahead and do that if that is useful in the moment for you. You can just take the positive ideas and encouragement from that reading and just let all of the other things go, because that will actually satisfy what you need in that moment. But just be aware for the future, so you can also benefit from other types of messages. Then we have emotional states. When we are looking for an answer with desperation, when we are in this low state of emotional self, when we are in loss, when we have this heaviness on top of us, then we will not make a choice that is necessarily in alignment with what we actually need, but we will look for something to comfort us mostly. We will look again for something positive, optimistic, or comfortable. And that is okay. This is what you need in that moment. And if you do not find that in the reading, if you do not find the pile that will comfort you in that reading, then that reading may not be for you, but that may also upset you in that state. So kind of be careful with those types of states. If you would like to go towards a reading in that state, just go towards the subject that actually will help you. Like, for example, there are readings about supportive messages or encouraging messages. Those readings may help you in that state, but others may not. Then we have expectations. Expectations are for both. Either if you use your intellect or either you use your senses, you can also have expectations. Like expecting that the reading will answer this question, even if, for example, the reading is not about that question. Expecting that the reading would be a perfect match for you when this is a general reading. Expecting that this crystal or this shape will be the one that's for you because you have either attachments, desires, bias, superstition, or other types of ideas going on there. So these are the main things that I can think about right now that may influence your choice when trying to pick the pile that is right for you. Now, what is the state of choice that is most beneficial? The state of choice that is most beneficial is a neutral state. That is hard to come by. That is usually cultivated through meditation, through inner work, and through a lot of work with yourself and self-discovery. So do not put that high bar for you. You do not need to reach there into that neutral state, but at least have your intention. Just have your intention to have a clear mind and to have a clear emotional state. And that's it. Just don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't ask too much from yourself. You do not need to be in that state of harmony as well between intellect and heart to find the right path for you. So do not ask yourself too much. You can also accept mistakes. Will happen sometimes, and it's fine. Do not victimize yourself as well. Just try to go ahead and try again. Just move forward and try again. This is not the end of the world. If you don't find a pile for you or a message for you, or if you just get it wrong sometimes. So don't put so much pressure on yourself to be perfect, to be an enlightened person, to be a guru, to be someone who is really achieved that neutral state. That is difficult. So do not get ahead of yourself. Do not push yourself where you cannot go. Do not punish yourself because you can't be there in this moment. You will see that even if you don't know a lot of things, you can make and you can find the pile that is right for you. Even if you do it by using your unconscious and your subconscious self without actually knowing what's going on there. Actually, if you do not think as much, if you do not put pressure as much, if you just go with the flow, it will be much easier for you. So just let go. Now that can be hard as well. So again, just be natural with how you do things every day. This is the way to go here. Don't push yourself too much. Don't diminish yourself too much. Don't try to elevate yourself, or don't try to punish yourself as well. Just let yourself be you when you make a choice, and that will be okay. And if you struggle for a bit, if you analyze for a bit, just be aware that you're doing that and go on. go on and exercise some more. With more exercise, you will see that you will gain more awareness about your process, about how you choose your pile. And that awareness is amazing because it also helps you understand how you make everyday choices and how you think and how you utilize your intellect or your senses, what method you utilize and which method works the best for you, and so on. You can just increase your abilities by using choice in pick a card readings. Okay, so that state of choice is a state where you are okay with yourself, with who you are right here, right now, and it is a state of simplicity. Now, at the beginning of choosing your piles in each video, you will find just a little tiny bit of guidance that will put you in the right state. Now, it is just a few minutes, but it makes a difference. It makes a difference because it calms you down, it rearranges you, and it puts you into the connection with the energetical space of the reading. So you may have this attention, so you may be okay with yourself and with choosing. That will facilitate your state, the peacefulness inside of you, the actual state, you can call it inner peace, when you are at peace with yourself and not in a conflict with who you are and how you think about yourself. Okay, so now, how to choose your pile? So listen to that tiny guidance at the beginning of each choose your pile section to put yourself into the peacefulness inside of you. You can also use other meditations, for example, 5 minutes breathing or 15 minutes guided relaxation meditations. That will also be beneficial to get you into a state of clarity, like clearing your mind, making everything just order, creating an inner order and peace and a state of centeredness and relaxation. After that, you just go ahead and look at each object that I am using. Like, I am using objects like these, so you may not have a really big visual stimulation, because that may also increase your intellectual stimulation. For example, if I would use cards like these and just put 3 cards instead of objects, okay? So here we have this, here we have this, and here we have this. If I would use this, you would have something to analyze, co-create, then exchange gifts. You will have a lot to go on here, and you will think about, well, what do I want? Do I want to receive something interesting and beautiful? Do I want to be a creator? And you will go with your wants and your desires, and that will affect your choice. You will no longer go within and make choices because of your inner guidance or some things that there are there inside of you, because you have so much to analyze and go on with the pictures, as well with the people who do not analyze. You can go with the feeling of this picture as well, and you can just choose one that either makes you happy or depicts something that you want, or depicts an attachment of yours as well. So this is too much stimulation. So this is why I am using very simple objects, so you will not have this type of stimulation. So just look at the simple objects, and then after you look, so the idea of looking is of employing your intellect, okay? Looking at the colors, looking at the shapes, looking at the types of materials and so on. So this will actually settle your intellect. And afterwards, after you see all of them, your mind knows all of the options and it can be settled. It can be at peace. I know all of the options. Okay, I know how to go one further. Okay? And after that, you look at everything and you let your senses guide you. Either your intuition, either something in your body, either whatever you feel attracted. So attraction is the key there. Like you are attracted to something you love. If you will fall into attachments, into desires and other types of ideas, just accept that that might happen. Accept that that is a part of your experience and just go on and try again. If you cannot find your pile from the first time, just try again and encourage yourself and be aware of what happened in the past, if there was an attachment or something else. If something that wasn't really obvious happened, then you will need to have more experience to see the patterns there, to see why you are choosing this pile or that pile, and also hear the messages. Maybe there is a message repeating for you there that you need to learn to actually go on and find the right piles for you. So just launch yourself, jump into the experience with enthusiasm and joy, and let yourself be guided by this amazing experience. So increase your awareness about what's happening as well, and increase your ability to use your senses. So this is how you make your choice. Keep it simple. Keep it real. Do not analyze too much. Just settle your mind only to know the objects, and do not just analyze and compare colors, shapes, and materials, and that or the other, and so on. And let yourself be guided by your senses. And if you do not feel something or have a sensation in your body, or know what your intuition says because you mix it up with your analysis or something else, leave all of that behind you. Just for this exercise, of choosing your piles, make like a contract with yourself that you're just going to choose, that you're just going to let everything fall away, fall apart, let the types of thinking you have, let the sensation aside, and just go for it. And just experience with that for a while, because you may also need more encouragement to choose, to actually make a choice and accept consequences, or accept the results, accept that you may make mistakes, and so on. And by using this, you can accept your mistakes in times, and you will hone all of the other senses as well. And by letting go of your thinking, of the way you sense things, you will also clear up. You will feel more at ease with yourself. And that's the state to use, to choose your pile. A state of ease. A state where you are at peace with yourself, even if you make a mistake, even if you do not have, you do not recognize your senses or your intuition, even if you think too much or you overthink. If you are okay with that, if you say, well, yes, I overthink, I may exaggerate, I may have attachments, I may not understand, I may struggle with understanding the difference between intellect and heart. Then you get to be at peace with yourself. You get to be at ease with yourself. And from that state, you can choose. And by choosing more from that state, you cultivate that state of ease. So here you go. This is how you make a choice in all of the cases that I've mentioned in the beginning. So I hope this has brought you clarity and help and support and encouragement to actually make your choice and keep making choices and keep learning and using your free will and understand how you function when you make choices. Have a beautiful day and night wherever you are, and I hope I see you in the next readings. If you would like me to explain something more about a subject here, please go ahead and just comment that and let me know about that in the comment area. Until next time, bye!